just to review, I'm Dr. Jack Shepard. On September 9th, I'll be running against Norman Coleman in the Republican primary. And you have a chance to vote against Norman Coleman. A little bit like Jess Ventura said, none of the above. If you don't like the guy, you can vote for Jack Shepard. Norman Coleman, he betrayed the trust that we gave him. He was in charge of the Senate Oversight Committee on Iraq. And the no-bid contracts, the work that we paid for that wasn't done, the water testing, the chlorine that wasn't put in the water, the body armor that wasn't delivered, the incorrect body armor, the body armor missing pieces. He didn't investigate any of that. But those contractors gave him a lot of money. There are dead Americans that didn't have correct body armor, and Norman Coleman didn't investigate them. You understand that? You understand that? He had the right. He was the only person. He could have asked questions. He cost the American taxpayer 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100 billion by not talking to one contractor in front of him in the United States Senate and said, show me the work you did. The quality on my report right here says the work wasn't good. The water contractor gave him $100,000 at least, you know. And the important thing, just that announcement again, I wasn't clear the first time. If you were in Iraq and you drank the water, you ate the food, or you took the shower, you have to go immediately to the nearest veterans hospital or your doctor and have your blood checked. Because if those pathogens are in your blood, it'll lead to a very slow, agonizing death, and it is contagious to other members of your family. You haven't heard that before, but I repeat, I've been asked to make that announcement because I do things like that. Okay? So, Norman Coleman, what did he do for you? You tell me one good reason to send him back to the Senate. What did he do for you? How is your life better? Unless you are the upper 1% and the richest people of the world, he voted to give you a tax cut. You understand? All the workers, all the unions, none of them support Norman Coleman. But they would support me, even though I'm a Republican, because I said I'm an ultra-liberal, ultra-compassionate Republican, and I care about the workers of Minnesota. Our economy is really bad right now, and that's Norman Coleman's fault. When he took office, we hardly owed anything. Now we're getting close to being $10 trillion in debt. The people in Minnesota are having big problems, but Norman Coleman's not having problems. He's the #1 person in the Senate flying on corporate jets. They give him 500-night hotels, $100 dinners. They pay him $10, $20, $30, $40,000 to speak at private dinners. His lobbyists, that goes in his pocket. The other millions go in his campaign. So there's a protest in my video about why he doesn't support ethics in politics, but it would bankrupt the guy. You know, he's in it for Norman Coleman. He's not in it for Minnesota. He's in it for Norman Coleman. And you gotta really get a guy in the Senate, myself, maybe Jess Ventura, maybe Al Franken, somebody who really will work for Minnesota, someone who really cares. The people that die, over 4,000 in Iraq, do you think Norman Coleman misses a minute of sleep about that? Yeah. Or the tens of thousands of amputees who returned from Iraq. Do you think Norman Coleman misses any sleep about that? Like I said, he was at Walter Reed. He saw the stinking conditions. He saw the contamination. He saw the paint falling off the walls. He didn't tell anybody. He didn't care. You know, would he send his children when they're old enough to Iraq? If he gets reelected, unfortunately, by the time they're 18, and I think they're only about 12 now, or, you know, I'm not sure exactly, but with 6 more years, Norman Coleman in the U.S. Senate will be in Iraq. You know, we have to keep a small amount of people in Iraq. We have to put them way off the street. I already submitted my plan a year ago to Secretary Gates and got a response. It's on my website. You know, But we don't have to be walking Baghdad like Norman Coleman's happy, because recently, they won't tell you, but besides the roadside bombs, it's the snipers that are getting them. You know, they're just walking down the street like sitting ducks, you know. When Norman Coleman goes to Iraq, do you think he's going to walk down the street with a patrol like a sitting duck? No, he's going to stay in the green zone in a fortified bunker. He'll take some pictures with some troops, you know. You think he'll